With her shovel in hand, she roams the universe, exploring every land, no map, no reverse. Oh, Digger 420, curious Canuck. Answers on your mind, never getting stuck. Riding waves of stars through the cosmic sea, finding who we are in the galaxy. She's got questions to ask and a fire that won't die, unraveling each task under the sky. Oh, Digger 420, curious Canuck. Answers on your mind, never getting stuck. Riding waves of stars through the cosmic sea, finding who we are in the galaxy. She's got questions to ask and a fire that won't die, unraveling each task under the sky. Oh, Digger 420, curious Canuck. Answers on your mind, never getting stuck.
Because,
Hello. How is everyone doing? Oh my goodness. Shit. Of course, my father phones right at the wrong time. I'll call him back later. It looks like it's pitch dark, like nighttime here. It isn't, but it's so bright outside. If I open up the curtains and the blinds, you guys are gonna. I kind of glow in the dark. It's wild. I don't know why that's happening though. Any which ways, how are you guys doing? It's been forever, like a whole hour and a half since I saw you last. So how's life treating people now? The death of Hulk Hogan is kind of settled in. I'm okay with it. It sucks that it's a world without Hulk Hogan, but what can you do, right? Actually, you know what? That's probably why my dad is phoning. Now that I think about it, that's probably exactly why my dad is calling. It's because of Hulk Hogan. So what can you do? He had a great run, so that's the best you can hope for. Hello, MJ. How you doing? Los Federales. Good to see you again. Pope Elmo the First. Welcome, Mr. Q. How you doing? So yeah, it's chatting with chat today. So whatever you guys want to talk about, I spent the time between shows listening to a video of someone else playing Hello Wild. Someone else reacting to Tulsi Gabbard's revelations. So it's pretty interesting. It's a quite interesting thing she's talking about when CNN doesn't decide to, suddenly start talking over her. But you can actually hear what the lady's saying. There's quite a bit of info in there. And I love the fact that she says repeatedly, we've released it all. You go research it yourself. You decide. We've released it all, so you guys decide. We're not going to tell you what we think. We've given it off to the Department of Justice, and that's for them to decide. But you guys can make up your own minds because here's everything. And I think that's kind of cool. So I don't know what I think about Tulsi Gabbard. I just don't know what to think about her. So, ooh, Mr. Q is saying kids, horses, cows, cats, and dog all fed. Life is good. Right on. And Los Federales is saying, "Do you have a secret talent? What is it? Can you show us?" No, I don't have a secret talent. There's not a whole heck of a lot. I chitty chat a lot. That's my good talent. I can chat with the best of them. um, yeah, I play a bunch of band instruments, including a flute. Yes, I was in band camp. No, I didn't do that. That movie was awesome but horrible at the same time. Um, but no, I played sports as a kid. That's about it. But yeah, it was interesting to see what Tulsi Gabbard had to say. It was interesting to see. Like I said, I don't know what I think of her. I can't get a grasp on her, like I'm not sure what to think about her. But that was kind of a nice and refreshing moment after the Epstein bullshit. But if anyone actually expected any Epstein anything to come out, I don't know, they might be touched in the head. Anything that was going to come out about Epstein came out already. Everything else, in my opinion, has probably been burned, trashed, and boxed up the ashes and put in the deepest part of the sea. Like, we got everything we were going to get from Epstein a long time ago. So I don't know about that. It sounds like the judge in the this is for us Canucks. There's 5 players who were playing for the minors. They were playing for the minors. They were representing Canada. 5 of them were accused of doing stuff with the girl that didn't want it done to her. And they've been on trial for the last few weeks. It sounds like the judge is putting his foot down, and prosecution hasn't, or no, what did he say? It is not the it's not the defense's responsibility to disprove these allegations. So that's kind of nice. It sounds like he's annoyed with the prosecution. Sounds like he doesn't think they've got a case, and he's annoyed for having to waste his time. So that bodes well for the boys, I guess. I can't really think of what else major is happening. Kind of, it's a good thing. No news is good news. There's that. And there's also the miners in Canada here. I forgot about. We've got 3 miners in BC who are trapped. They've been trapped for a few days now, but they made it to a rescue area, and so they're fine. It's just a matter of waiting until they finally get dug out again. So yeah, no news is good news. Other than the deaths that we have had to kind of face. That's a good one, actually. I was looking on Twitter, and it's also known as X, and someone was saying, first Aussie, now Hulk Hogan, who's going to be number 3? Right? Because they happen in 3s. And someone else said, well, Malcolm Jamal Warner, right? And oh geez, Federales. And the question came back, well, is Malcolm Jamal Warner the same caliber celebrity as Hulk Hogan and Ozzy? Like, does he count for that set of 3? Or is he the first in a different set of 3 for other celebrities, but not the same, or a different caliber than Hogan and Ozzy? What do you guys think? I'm of the opinion Malcolm Jamal Warner was Theo Cosby, Theo Huxtable, and he was just a part of my childhood as Hulk Hogan and Ozzy. He was I would put him on the same par as the other two, is what I'm trying to say. But what do you think? Do you think he rates the same as Hulk Hogan and Ozzy? Rex is saying Theo counts. Chuck Mangione died. I feel like I know that name, but my brain is being stupid. And hello, Boosh. How you doing? I'm having an especially foggy brain day today. I woke up extra stupid today. I don't know. Like it happens at times. What about the lady that played Lieutenant Houlihan in MASH? Yes, Hot Lips Houlihan. But she's, it's been too long. There's been too much time in between her death and now these deaths. So I'm sure she counted in a different set of three. And that's the other thing. Like, how do you, like, if Theo doesn't count, then are we waiting for two other celebrities to die? And how do we, who would be the third one who would count with Hulk and Ozzy? Are we looking for three more celebrities to die, all told? I really think Theo counts because he was just as much a part of Gen X in the 80s and 90s as Gen X in the 80s as the other two, for sure. T. Jefferson is saying, yeah, he counts. He was massively popular with the Cosby Show, right? And that's the thing. Everyone either wanted to be his friend or wanted to date him. Like, I thought he was cute as all get out, of course, right? What girl my age didn't have a crush on Theo? Hello, Kaiser. How you doing? Wild is saying Malcolm Jamal Warner was a generational icon. He was a TV star and teen crush, but famous for one thing in front of the camera. There we go. I forgot that I could do that in this one. Yeah, so I think in my opinion, that means he rates the same as Hulk Hogan and Ozzy. In my opinion. T. Jefferson, Chuck Mangione was a jazz trumpeter. Okay, thank you. I hadn't even heard that he had died. Like I said, the name was familiar, but I do better with faces. Sup? Boosh, as popular as Ozzy and Hulkster, that's a stretch. Okay, so you're not in agreement. So you think we're waiting on someone else to be like of the same caliber as Ozzy and the Hulkster? Fair enough. Kaiser saying, can people stop dying for a bit? That would be nice too. Like, we've lost a few folks in the recent history. Hello, No Fucks. How you doing? Yeah, we've lost an awful lot of people since the flu that hardly killed anyone but shut down the world. And I think the first wave of illness and death from some certain treatments, I think that's over with as well. Like someone was saying today, Hogan had a heart attack, and so it must have been from that special shot that everyone was told to get. I don't know. I think in his case, I think it's just more likely that he's gone through so many different surgeries and his heart just couldn't take it. He was 71 years old. He had done more than his fair share of damage to his human body. Like, most people don't do a quarter of the damage to their body that man did on purpose for entertainment. Not to mention drugs that aren't allowed in sports, but sports entertainment loved the stuff. So yeah, I think the heart was just done. I think he's had his time. I don't think we can keep blaming unless there's lots of people still taking brand new things. I'm pretty sure my parents are still taking their boosters. We don't talk about it. We just pretend that section of time never ever happened, ever. So there was no separating of me versus everyone else who took the thing. We just pretend the thing never happened anymore, and life has gone back to normal. So I have no idea if they're actually taking their boosters. My guess is yes. because they're in their 70s, and they took it right from the get-go. So I don't see why they wouldn't keep taking their boosters for that, like they take the flu shots every year, right? Oh, yes, yes, Kaiser. They were dropping like flies in 2016 and 2017, right? Hello, no fucks. Did I say that? I said that, yes. Um, but the whole cast was Americana. He should be counted, but Hulk Hogan helped make pro wrestling what it is, and Ozzy changed music. And that's not anywhere near, Theo isn't anywhere near that caliber. Ozzy and Hulk, says Wild, were international. Malcolm was mainly known as an American TV star. That's fair too. That's fair too. I slightly misunderstood. The Cosby Show made the idea of a white collar black family popular. Yeah, which hadn't been done before. Okay, I can see what you guys are saying. I can see the other side of the coin. He was very important. Yeah, he was very important to, North America as opposed to international. The other two were definitely international. Definitely. That makes sense. So we're looking for one more of that caliber. That sucks. Wrestlers don't have a very long shelf life, right? Like, and especially the wrestlers from that era. What came out of wrestling Japan, what they did in wrestling Japan is absolutely insane. I mean, look at what Mankind alone did, all sorts of damage to himself in the Japanese wrestling back in that era. Hulk Hogan's the same. He did a lot of time on the international wrestling circuit. Bush is saying Ric Flair is like 80 and that's ancient for a wrestler. I know, right? Pardon me. I've still got that frog in my throat. I'm hoping eventually I'll have been quit smoking long enough that frog will finally disappear. What even is Max, right? Oh. Let's see. Oh, I can't. There we go. Bush saying, I never said I hated Theo. Yeah, I didn't think. Oh, Bush. Oh. Oh, that sucks, Bush. I don't think he was saying quite that. He misunderstood. And I'm in agreements, but that sucks, Bush. I'm sorry. You have a good afternoon. I wish you'd stay, but Mr. Q saying, yeah, I would say nobody really knows about the Cosby Show outside the United States, so he's not an international star. And yeah, I see the argument. I see your point. And Bush and Wild, I see your point. That does make sense. Like I said, though, it sucks because that means we're looking for another one of that caliber. Uh-oh. Wild will be back in a minute. Okay. Hopefully it's a politician. What, her phone call? Mr. Q? T. Jefferson. Yeah, Hogan was in Japan for a goodly amount of time, and it's harder to get a job. Yeah. Yeah. It was Japan for a long time in that era was the other place to be. But then that's kind of like UFC as well, right? Like for the longest time, it was all about pride fighting. And they are what made it big enough that Dana White could come in and create the UFC. And similar to the way the WWE kind of absorbed smaller wrestling circuits to turn itself into one huge thing, UFC did much the same thing. And they ended up buying out pride fighting. And Yeah, that in my opinion is too bad. I really miss the Pride. Um, back when Pride meant something completely different. I know you weren't T Jefferson, don't worry. Um, I lost the over under on Flair versus Hogan lifespan, says Mr. Q. Yeah, I wasn't playing that game, but I probably would have lost too. I would have expected Hogan to live much longer. Kaiser saying he still loves doing the Macho Man voice, right? And I mean, for me as a girl, I was all about Miss Elizabeth. You know, she was my hero. I wanted to be her. She was gorgeous. She had the two most important, coolest dudes fighting over her. And she was just, from my opinion, as a little girl, I have no idea if I went back and watched as an adult now, probably there's a lot of stuff that went right over my head at the time. But from my perspective, she was just a sweet, innocent, nice lady, and everyone's getting mad about her. So that I wanted to be her because she was just such a nice lady, and she was just as princess or just as pretty as Princess Diana in my mind from that age. As a little girl, she was like the North American equivalent of Princess Di, and she was just so awesome, right? And there's actually oh shoot, now I'm gonna blank on his name. The Unacceptable Fringe. He's a streamer on YouTube. He's in Alberta. He does a lot of good stuff, and he actually uses the Macho Man. Oh yeah, as his opening too. Snap into a Johnny's meat stick at hole one at golf tournament on Sunday. Sunday. Ooh yeah. That's awesome. Snap into a Johnny's, definitely not sable antelope meat stick at her first hole. Oh my goodness. That's going to be a lot of I kind of wish I could be there now anyways, because it sounds like it's going to be a whole lot of fun. But I'm also exceedingly glad that I don't actually have to fly. It's going to take me a while to get the money back in, so that I've got the money to make the trip, because life happens, and the longer it took to get the passport, more life things happened. So I've got to keep saving for a little bit before I can do that trip. But yeah, I'm really glad that I didn't have to fly. I'm rather disappointed that I'm not going to be able to be there and enjoy it, because that sounds like it's going to be a whole lot of fun. I mean, of course, the comedy show and everything the night before, but it sounds like it would be a lot of fun hanging out with Johnny on the first hole, selling exotic meat, and then once everyone's gone through, going to the 19th hole and having some drinks and a meal. I haven't done that in a long time. Gone to the club and drinks in the meal. It doesn't matter which golf club you go to. If you go to whatever they call their pub at the end of the golf course, they've always got great food, don't they? Like, they've always got great food. So I should do that. I should make a point of it, because yeah, that's a good way to spend a Sunday. Randy and Hulk, the rematch tomorrow in heaven. The first lady of wrestling was a sight to behold in the day. Yes, she was. Yep. Here we go. Sunday. Dip your balls in Johnny's holes and taste his exotic meat. There you go, Fallen. Thank you. My tongue was tripping on stuff, but yes. Digger, please tell me you've seen the Alberta Man clip where they try to do the most famous man on earth thing with him. No, I have no idea what you're talking about, Mr. Q. You're not on Discord, are you? If you go over to the Rumble and drop the link in the chat and Rumble, I can play it from there. I have no idea what you're talking about. Try to do the whole most famous man on earth thing. Oop. Damn, that sucks. How short are you? I'm not that short. I'm 5'4", damn it. Oh, how short in cash? Sorry. Oh, yeah, I had to see the Funda Digger. I had to see that to understand what you were talking about. Jeez Louise. I'm a smart ass. I'm short. I'm short enough that it won't be long, but I'm, hoping if I play my cards right and I live frugally, I'm hoping perhaps I can do the train trip in September, mid to the end of September. So we shall see. I do the whole golf thing, but I have fun enduro race to go to where I get to watch Nikki's son crash car several times. Dude, you'd mentioned that in chat earlier. That sounds like fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. Hello, Mikey Two Milks. Is this the right place? Yes, it is. Welcome. 5'4", you're almost a midget. I am perfectly the right height. I am just perfect. I can reach most of the tall stuff. My legs are long enough that the things I can't reach on the very tallest thing, I climb up onto the counter to reach. But I'm not too short either. My mom's short. My grandma and my aunts are both short. I'm actually, I'm doing pretty good. And my little brother is over 6 foot, I think, just over 6 foot. He's much taller than anyone else in the family. Fallen saying, "No, Mikey, go away. No, Mikey's welcome here." Hello, Johnny. Johnny's in chat saying, "Yep." There we go. But yeah, Mikey, what do you think? You can chime in here. Do you think that Malcolm Jamal Warner is the same caliber celebrity that he counts as the third with Hulk and Ozzy Osbourne? Or do you think like the other half of the chat that says he's not the same caliber because he was not known internationally? I was saying he was good enough. He counted with those two, but they've won me over. I really, I see what they're saying. And outside of North America, I don't think very many people would know who Theo was. They wouldn't, I don't think they'd look at him and recognize him. So. Oh, sorry, Fallen. He would, but Johnny's holding him at a gun. Johnny, he's a good guy, right? Forcing people to watch my show. That's awesome. Okay, are we still talking celebrity death rankings? Well, only I just asked Mikey Two Milks what his opinion was because he just got here. But other than that, nope, we can talk about whatever you want. I was saying there really wasn't a whole lot done, like news wise. There wasn't a whole lot that actually happened. It's summertime. Most governments are on break. Schools are for the most part closed. Where else are major things going to happen? Yes, I am still drinking Canadian because, like I said, I'm not a big drinker. So I bought these for Canada Day. 23 days later, I've still got I've got a 6-pack left after this still. So yeah, I really don't drink very often, but in the heat of the day like it is right now, very much appreciated, even with the aircon. Hello, FTT76. How you doing? Quick flyby to say hi. Yes, it is sad news about Hulk Hogan. Yes, thank you for swinging by. Good to see you. I have secret pocket cinch. There you go. That trick worked so many times. So many times. And I remember when they were starting to out uh like we always knew that it was that wrestling was fake. We all knew it. Even as kids, I knew that it was all made up. Um Heck, my dad and my brother and I used to love to watch for the paid to lose guy. You knew who was going to lose just by who it was, right? If not got a big name, oh, he's paid to lose. You know what's going to happen. We knew it was fake. Um, but at one point in the mid 90s or maybe late 90s, they started like outing the secrets and stuff. And I saw one of the tricks was to have a razor blade so that they could slice their foreheads up and that sort of thing. Like, yes, it was fake, but those people really they put their bodies on the line um, quite a bit, quite a bit. Hello, D. What? Thank you for the belated birthday. Thank you very much. Fallen saying, if I had a six pack, my wife would be so happy. Right? Well, I like to joke. I've got one. It's just hidden. It's well protected. So can't do it. Can't verify on Rumble for 30 minutes. Okay, that's too bad. I'll go looking for it at some point. Albertan, world most important man. Sorry, I'm distracted on Baby Watch. That's fair. That's fair, Wild. For those of you that don't know, Wild Saffron, friend of ours on the Rumble, um, she's waiting. She's waiting on a baby. Could be born at any minute. So that's fun. That's always fun. I just got to play that game this past Christmas. My stepsister, she and her husband have their daughter, who is 11 going on 12. And last year, they realized that oops, they managed to get pregnant a second time. So now they've got an almost 12-year-old, or no, I think she just turned 12, and a brand Nubian. So they're starting all over. Like she was just about in middle school, and now they got a baby again. But it was a lot of fun those last days, just waiting and nail biting. You know it's coming, but you don't know when. It's going to be so exciting. Oh, Fallen, don't tell spoilers to the kids. You're saying, but they all know it. They all know it. My dad still watches Monday Night Wrestling. Whenever I do go down there, I haven't been down there in a long, long time. But when I do go down there, that's one of the things that he and I do. We used to do Monday Night Wrestling together. We wouldn't have dinner. We'd just have ginormous ice cream pails of popcorn. And that was our dinner while we watched the wrestling. So, yeah, the nieces and nephews have come and watched with Grandpa. And they're all quite aware that it's not real, but it's fun anyways, Ice Hot Freeze, good to see you. Chuck Mangione also passed away today. Yes, we were talking about him earlier as well. I had remembered his name, but I couldn't figure out where he'd belonged. So jazz trumpet, did you say? He was a jazz player. Anyways, where was it? Oh, I didn't mark it. I can't find it. I'll get lost in chats again. But yeah, jazz player. Who wants a six pack when you can have a whole keg? There you go, Fallen. There you go. Aim big, right? Hello, David Nelson. Good to see you. Some people go for the keg instead of the six pack. See, there you go. Mikey too melts with the pocket sand and runs away to safety while Johnny is disoriented and his eyes are scratchy. They had such great things. Yeah, wrestling was awesome. It really was. Okay. Wild is telling Music with Ice is sad. His big hit was Feels So Good. That sounds familiar. So see, like I said, I'm horrible with names, better with faces. Yeah, there we go. Okay, very cool. I've got it there. I've got it open now so I can go and listen and when this is done, I'll go and listen and I'll probably be like, oh yeah, I totally know that. Fallen. Hurry up and shit that crotch goblin out already. Yeah, it's the wrong hole. They don't come out of that hole. They come out of the front hole. Um otherwise, I love that term crotch goblin. That's that tickles me funny bone. Yes, yeah, okay, sorry. If I wasn't clear, Wild is not having the baby herself. She is going to be a grandmother again. She is not actually giving birth. She is just waiting for someone else to give birth. Hello, Dave. How you doing? Jumped in here to push buttons. Cheers. Good to see you. Thank you. It's the first minute of the PJ the Belt video about Alberta leaving Canada. Oh, okay. Then I definitely don't know. I thought you were talking about something from back in the day. Belts. Oh, wait a minute. I would want to check this out on YouTube, right? Not just Google. Where did we go? We're leaving Canada from 2 weeks ago. Two weeks ago, left speechless. Alberta man reacts to Star Spangled Banner as you've never heard it. Okay, I'm assuming that's the one. Oh, it's a 13-minute. Alberta leaving Canada from 2 weeks ago. I think I've got it. The ads are playing though, so we'll wait. T. Jefferson. So Kane and Undertaker aren't brothers with superpowers. No, dude, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, or fortunately, because at least that means they didn't have the horrid lives that they said that they had. So I'm good news. Other things like Dude Love wasn't real. Socko wasn't real. Like this, just as an aside, Mankind and wrestlers like him, they really ruined their bodies for this entertainment. It's what they do with wrestling is just, it's so great. So much fun. It's silly. We all know it's fake, but it's still exciting when someone, takes them off the top of the cage and down and through the ring floor. Like right through the ring itself. Those sort of things those sort of events and moments are still very thrilling, whether you know that they're real or not, right? Flugelhorn. I'm not sure. I thought it was a French horn. Okay. I don't know. Side shield defense bonus. He'll be immune from pocket sand if he's wearing his fancy mountain climbing glasses. That's true, Mr. Q. That's true. Although he couldn't get his contacts in, that's why I was wearing his glasses today. And my guess is Mikey threw the sand in his eyes to get away from being forced to watch this stream. Apparently, Johnny was holding him at gunpoint, forcing him to watch my stream. So my money is on Mikey has actually evaded Johnny and has escaped. It's on YouTube. Okay. No, it's about leaving Canada. Oh, yeah, okay, so we go back. Well, there's a lot of stuff. So a lot of stuff from 2 weeks ago, and it's almost all about Alberta. Um, oh, come on now. Show me everything. Thank you. 12 days, 2 weeks. So it begins 51st state or Alberta independence. I've got Alberta pushes for independence, walking away from Canada, independence begins. Yeah, he's done a lot of stuff 2 weeks ago about Alberta. So I'll need you to be a little bit clearer. My childhood was a lie, says T. Jefferson. I am so sorry, bud. I've got sorry, by my bookshelves over there. I bought the hardcover copy of Mankind's book, his autobiography, and then years later he was touring around with some of the smaller Canadian wrestling circuits, and he happened to come to my town because my town is tiny, and so we have wrestling circuits, and yes, we have midget wrestling, and yes, it's a blast. It's an absolute hoot. But Mankind was touring with it at one point, and so I managed to go and meet him, and I got him to sign my book. And he wore a socko in the picture, and then he took the socko off and sold it to me for $20, and I gave it to my dad for Christmas, and everyone was happy. Now you've gone too far. Who are you to say Socko wasn't real? Okay, no. Sorry, my mistake. Socko was fully real. Socko was fully real. But Dude Love and Mankind, same guy. Same guy. I'm so sorry. I hate to tell you. And what was that? He went by another alias too. Same wrestler. Same wrestler every single time. Socko is totally real. Like Socko is real. I believe you me. I understand that. I wouldn't talk down about him. But that wrestler is the same dude. He played multiple different characters, and those characters were all fake. Socko was real. The characters were fake. David Nelson. See, yeah, I'm sorry. I misspoke because yeah, no, definitely wasn't saying Socko isn't real. Socko is real. Just the wrestler dude. His name is Mick Foley. He's a wrestler. He's played a bunch of different characters, or wrestled under a bunch of different names. So Socko totally real. Mankind, no. Oh my goodness, did I start something? Thank you, Rygon. Good to see you. Hello, Duct Tape. Good to see you. Oh, and Mikey is still there, which means I guess maybe the pocket sand didn't work. Or not well enough. I cry for Socko. Aw. Oh, he watches willingly. Mikey watches willingly. Whew, that's good. I'd really hate to think that Johnny was holding people hostage, forcing them to watch the show. That wouldn't be nice. Wild is saying Johnny's probably slurping a big bowl of ramen right now. Actually, probably that's what he said he was going to be doing. He's got a few chores to do, and he was going to make ramen. Is Johnny moving in with me? That's the word. Not that I know of. He's looking to move out of the house he's in at the moment. He's looking at a whole bunch of different options, not least of which coming to Canada. But, well, actually, probably is close to the least of which would be coming to Canada. There's a whole lot involved with that too. Hello, MSO. How you doing? Good to see you. All I say is 22 minutes. Okay. 22-minute video from 2 weeks ago. Yeah, there's 22 one from a month ago. Doop, 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 doop. Oh well. I am not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. You know what? I got an idea. Let's do this, Mr. Q. Drop the link in are you oh no, you're not a mod, so you can't drop it in Johnny's YouTube tomorrow either, can you? Darn it all. Alberta is walking away with the title. Which title? The 51st state? I don't know that Alberta's wanting to do the 51st state. Alberta is really opening up the trade route between themselves and America. They're kind of working sideways from Carney and our government. Like she's pursuing Alberta's own things through them, but I don't think she's actually, or I don't think Alberta is going for a 51st state part of America sort of deal. Especially now that they've got Saskatchewan signing on to do this shit. They don't have to become a part of America. They can create their own, Western Canada, the country of Western Canada. They don't have to become America. And I think that independence from Ottawa will go over a lot better with Western Canadians than becoming part of America. We love being Canadians. We love being Canucks. The government on the East Coast has forgotten what it's all about, but we haven't. And the government of Canada, for pretty much as long as it's existed, has had a habit of using all the resources and the income that comes from Western Canada, but they take the benefits of that. They reap the rewards of Western Canada's hard work. I think, especially like I said, now that Saskatchewan has signed on, I think it would be really great if Manitoba signed on, because honestly, Manitoba has been treated like the evil redheaded stepchild for like its entire existence. So my guess is they'd probably want to join, and most BCers, I think, would prefer that we not have to deal with Ottawa anymore. Not the people who live on the Lower Mainland. They love it. They think that this communist agenda is fabulous. Universal income? Yes. Drugs are legal no matter what they are? Yes. Let's take care of the homeless and the illegals and everyone except for hardworking Canadians. Let's make it especially hard for them. So yeah, the bulk of BC, I'm sure, would love to walk away with them. And I mean, if we got that much, I wouldn't be surprised if like the Northwest Territories and the Yukon join along with us. It would just kind of make sense. Oops, quick there. Johnny's getting stoned, not even here for his G friend. Well, no, Rygod. He's not here because he's not invited here. This is my show where I talk to you guys in chat. It's not my show with friends. That's on Mondays. On Mondays, I have guests, but on Thursdays, I just hang out with you guys and I see what's good. See what's saying, well, that's really cool. And T. Jefferson saying midget wrestling is so much fun. And yes, I got a Socko and I gave it to my dad for Christmas. I was full on adult. But yeah, it was awesome. It was really awesome. That's one of the funnest things I've ever been able to give dad for a present. Like I said, my dad and we did wrestling. That was our thing. Cactus Jack. Thank you, Mikey Two Milks. I knew there was a third one, but I couldn't pull the name out. So yeah, I hate to break it to you guys, but Mankind and Dude Love and Cactus Jack, they're all the same dude. His real life name is Mick Foley. That's just the same dude. I'm so sorry. And again, Socko, totally real. Fully exists. Seen him in person. I got a fake Socko for my dad for Christmas. But Socko real. It's just the others, those three characters, they're all one guy. So my bad. Dude Love, Mankind, and Cactus Jack. There we go. Yep. Yeah. Vince Russo told me Socko was his idea and he hated it. He also disliked Mick Foley. Vince Russo, that sounds like, see again, that I'm sure I know who Vince Russo is, but the name isn't enough for me. Wild saying, I'd love to see bowling with midgets. By that, I mean the midgets are the ball and it's I have not seen bowling with midgets. Midget wrestling is so much fun, especially when they've got like a Royal Rumble sort of thing. So you've got like half dozen or a dozen midgets all in the ring at the same time, all flailing about and knocking each other sideways. Oh, it's so much fun. Yes, I've heard those allegations. Apparently, those sorts of allegations run rife in the WWE. Apparently, alleged. See, oh my goodness, I wish Jeff could see me now and see just how often I use the tinfoil hat that I made for his stream. I wish he could, because yeah, I use it all the time and I think he'd get a royal kick out of it. But allegedly, talking out my ass, do your own research, because I really haven't delved deep into it because I don't want to. That's my great childhood memories, so I don't want to soil it. That being said, allegedly, the WWF and the WWE were very great in the moving of people industry, unwilling people industry, and that those sorts of files were quite prevalent in the industry as well. That is the tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. Do your own research. Like I said, I don't want to do the research because there are some things I just want to keep shiny. You know? Rygod saying, I worked for Rockstar Gaming from GTA 4 through RDR2. Oh, nice. I know so much about the industry. Interesting. Can I move in with you, Rygod? No, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I like it here at the moment. No, T Jefferson, there are. I've heard some of them. I've even seen I have watched. There is a dude that does podcasts. He worked in the background of the industry. His girlfriend comes out and talks about her experience. She was a child of one of the better known wrestlers from the 70s and 80s. And I've heard her tell her story, and it's horrible. That being said, I have no idea if it's true or not. Have no idea. But at the very least, the allegations do exist. They do exist. Whether they're true or not, I haven't the slightest. Like I said, there's so much to do with the WWF and the WWE and those sorts of things. There's so many conspiracies about that I don't know. but the allegations are definitely there. Like I said, whether they're true or not, I don't know. I listened to one lady give her testimony and it sounded real, but again, I don't know. And who's to say that the people she was naming were the people that did it? Because especially when it's famous people, sometimes you don't name the people at the top, you name some of the lower down people. Not to say he didn't do it, just to say do your own research. I don't know if he did or not. There's lots of stuff either way. So, and again, like I said, it's tinfoil hat stuff. The stuff, the tinfoil hat stuff on Vince McMahon as well. That's a whole nother wild stuff. So yeah. Oh, thank you. Wild over in Oh, no way. And this is at Stoney's. Oh, good Lord. This is awesome. Oh, wait a minute. I can't do that until I've done this. Share. Thank you so much, Wild Saffron, over in the Rumble. She has managed to find that. Why does it not say? There it is right there. She found midget bowling. Not only, pardon me, did she find midget bowling, she found midget bowling at Stoney's Bar. So here we go. And see if this works.
That way? All right, be careful. Good luck.
Are either of those two men Stoney?
2, be careful. Good luck.
All right, that's fun. Hello, Brian. How you doing? Hopefully you got here just in time to see that bowling with midget. Very good. Bowling with midget. Oh, that's awesome. Right? Not only did you find midget bowling, but you found it at Stoney's. That's awesome. The further you move from your children, the harder it is to see them. Hence, I've pretty much stayed in the same place for 46 years. You know what? My dad did the same thing. He stayed in the same town since he had to go down to the coast for about a year before my mom and my little brother and I could move down to be with him. We were in school and stuff. So since we went down there, my dad has not left the lower mainland, and he has not even left he's in the same hometown and everything. It's everyone else. We've all gone elsewhere. And to be fair, I followed my mom and stepdad and my little brother and couple of my stepbrothers up here to the Okanagan. My stepbrothers are still here, and I'm still here. My mom and stepdad moved further north. So, and then my little brother is on Vancouver Island. So yeah, dad stayed put just like you did. It's the rest of us. We all went elsewhere. But it's nice because we all know where to find them. Oh, thank you, Rygod. I'm glad that you believe that we'd make pretty children. Won't test the theory, but thank you. Brian saying, I'd let Digger live under my stairs like Harry Potter. Well, thank you, Brian. Thank you very much. And I bet you if I showed you a foot every now and again, you'd feed me too, right? Alberta has a higher per capita economy than Canada's average. Yep. No, that's totally true. We've got an interesting thing here too. So that like disability and social services are handled by the provinces or territories. but they're all being given the same amount of money from the federal government. It's I can't remember what the term is for it, but it's basically they take everything in the GDP in, and then they balance it out so that everyone, each province and territory, gets the same amount for their social services. And how that money is divvied up within the province is up to the province, but each one gets the same amount of money. The problem is Western Canada, in particular, Saskatchewan and Alberta, would be BC too, but logging and that's a whole nother issue. We need loggers and pipelines in BC, or we can't really do a whole lot right now. But that being said, yeah, Western Canada has paid the bulk of the GDP each year, and yet Western Canada tends to get the least of it back federally. It's completely horrendous. Like I said, at one point before there was such things as internet and stuff, the Canadian federal elections were basically called before Western Canada's polls had closed because we accounted for so little. Trudeau Sr., Trudeau's dad, or maybe dad, when he was traveling as prime minister, I think he was campaigning to be prime minister. Either way, he was riding a train from one end of Canada to the other when he got into Alberta, and they were coming up to the big town, and all the press was there ready and taking pictures and recording it and everything. And as soon as he got into view, he did this to the window, and he gave the middle finger to all of the press in Alberta. And that's basically how the federal government feels about Western Canada and how they felt about us in general since we became a country. So again, I really think it would be lovely if we became the Republic of Western Canada. I think that would be really great. I think we could take your Bill of Rights and the Constitution, pare them right back, maybe change a little bit of the wording for modern times, but basically have them as they were written originally, as our backbone for the Republic of Western Canada. And that would be lovely. We would take all of the resources, all of the everything, all of the goodness that is Canada, and they can stick Ottawa and Quebec can go play with themselves. I'm sorry for Nova Scotia and the Newfoundlanders and whatnot, PEI, really, really sorry. But by virtue of geography, you're kind of stuck. So I'm very sorry, but Mr. Q saying, I got family in Alberta and Saskatchewan. They want their oil money back and quit messing with their shovels and stuff, right? Los Federal is saying, I never thought I'd see the day when I call customer service and I pray that I get a newly landed Latino instead of another Indian. Welcome to Cavada, right? I like to call it Chinatistan. It looks awkward on paper, but it rolls off the tongue, Chinatistan. And from a BC perspective, China and the CCP really do rule the Lower Mainland, which is, where the control of the province is being held, unfortunately. But yeah, it's Chinatistan. Rygod saying he does IT support and they're all white. So there are some out there. We just we don't get them over here because Rygod, you're American too, right? Federales and I are Canadian. So that might be part of the thing too. You guys might not have sold out most industries to Indians from India in the last decade or so. For you, it might still be there's a fair amount of white people in that industry, but when it comes to Canada, no. Rygod's bragging he gets paid $75 an hour to do IT support. That is nice. Nice. Lovely, lovely. Oh, for IT management. Okay. So it's a management wage, but still, do you know what $75 is worth in Canadian funds? That's a lot of money. That would go far. Hello, OG. How you doing? It's good to see you. Well, okay, Rygod, you're saying so you can see how I dislike Johnny and Aaron get a job. That's the thing though. The streaming thing is their job. If it doesn't pay the bills anymore, they'll have to go and get a different job that pays better, but it seems to be paying their bills. So it works for them. That's the thing I don't get um about it. Like they do have jobs. They're just, it's a different it's not your classical idea of a job. Russo, okay. Head of the attitude 90s era. Okay. Mr. Q saying, Rygod, damn, you must be a rich MFer, right? Rygod saying, I work for it, and fair enough. Fair enough. You're earning it. I'm sure of that. I'm just thinking from my perspective, as a Canadian on disability, $75 for an hour. That sounds lovely. $75 goes really far in Canada. Rygod saying I'm an IT security pro and currently IT manager for a help desk. Okay. Yeah, and Mr. Q's going, no, I'm happy for you. I worked my ass off for nothing. Well, Mr. Q, you're doing things a little bit differently though. Like Rygod's tech, and you're going about it from a farmer's perspective. So you're not necessarily monetarily rich, but you're rich in other ways. Your wealth is measured in different ways. All of Rygod's all the money in the world is not going to do Rygod any good if the internet gets shut down, and the banks lose their information. You don't like, if you think that the banks these days keep hard copies of stuff, I highly doubt it. So yeah, all of his money in the world wouldn't help him when the world goes to shit. You, however, being a farmer, you'll be able to survive, and your kids will survive, and everything will be golden. So it depends on your perspective. Los Federales is saying, I love watching the 100-meter midget dash. It's hilarious seeing them run with their arms sticking out like they're about to take off. It's another one I haven't watched. Midget running. OG saying, making more money than God. You think God made money? You must have a special education in religion. Well, and that's a good point too. God was specifically broke. He left his career as a carpenter and gave away everything, and he just wandered the world, sharing God with others. So there you go. Can we go on a date before we move in? No, I'm sorry, sorry, God. I don't think that'll happen, and especially not to Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons is god awful now. I swore off of it. I swore off of Tim Hortons coffee before COVID. That's how long ago it's been bad. Yeah, it's really not good coffee anymore. And the midget running is a pretty fun time. Yeah. Midget bowling. I never three-fingered a midget before. No, OG. Slightly different bowling. It's not one of those. Well, that could be fun too. Federalis is wishing you could post links in YouTube. I know, right? I know. Rumble, you can do it if you want to go through the hassle of making an account. Otherwise, until I get like at least 850 more subscribers and a shit ton of watch hours, I'm not going to be able to do that. Unless, can you? That's a good question. Can you guys super chat me on YouTube? I don't think you can. You can't even do that. So yeah, it'll be a long time before anyone can do anything like that, unfortunately. I'd give you a dog for your dog. Well, that's good, Brian. Okay. So if the shit hits the fan and I need to, I know that I can always rely on living underneath your staircase like Harry Potter. And as long as I occasionally show you one of my feet, you'll toss me a meal or a hot dog. That works. That works. When the shit hits the fan, I can't beg. Hello, Buck. How you doing? Good evening. Mr. Q says, my family owns the land. Why don't they own what's on it? Shouldn't have to pay the government to bale your own hay. Right? There's a whole lot of stuff. Don't get me started on farmers. Here in Canada, dairy farmers are regularly told that they have to dump thousands and thousands of gallons of milk because they cannot produce. They can only produce X amount, and anything over will fuck with the dairy, the cost of dairy. So yeah, these sorts of weird things happen. And yeah, owning the land but not owning the stuff on it, it's just another government thing. Everything in banking is digitized and stored in Iron Mountain. Oh, Iron Mountain. Oh, is our stuff in Iron Mountain too? That'd be interesting. I would love to go and take a tour inside of Iron Mountain. I think that would be the coolest thing. But yeah, it'd be neat if Canadian stuff was kept there too. Hello, Squad Bob. Thank you so much for the birthday coffees. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You're awesome. And I've got, I've got baby stink bugs that can fit into in between the screen door and the sliding glass door, and they've taken over my house because I finally won the war against the wasps. But because of that, the wasps aren't here to eat all these other things that are now making it in my house. It's awful because these stink bugs, the cats won't even go after them because they're stink bugs. They smell awful. It sucks. Normally, for the most part, the cats will eat the bugs that come in, and we're golden. But these stink bugs are a whole nother thing. Damn speech to text says, yeah, in Iron Mountain. I figured it out. It took me a moment, but I figured it out. Not to Tim Hortons, and also Digger already knows that I am her plan B if this Johnny thing doesn't work out. There you go. Are you planning on having multiple wives, Brian? Does Rosie know about this? I mean, I'm okay with it, but I've got to make sure she's okay with it. Never. I got tired of Tim Hortons about 10 years ago. I was just tired of being disappointed every single morning. Right? Well, for me, yeah. Yeah, it was before COVID, for sure. Maybe a couple of years before COVID. But yeah, suddenly they weren't like I'd order my coffee, but it's like they stopped cleaning out the cream dispenser. So when the cream dispenser emptied, they'd pull out the empty bag and they'd put a new bag in, but they wouldn't clean the dispenser. And it seems like every time I went and got a coffee, my stomach would just turn rotten before I was even able to finish half of the coffee. So I stopped ordering coffees. And then I started seeing really gross things with the donuts and muffins and stuff. So I just fuck it all together. I will go through their drive-through. Like if someone else is taking me through there, the only thing I will get from them these days is like bottled pop. If it's not prepackaged elsewhere, I won't buy it from Tim Hortons. It's so gross. So gross. Wild really liked your bowling joke there, OG. Just as you know, in case you're not looking at the screen. She really appreciated that one. Mr. Q saying happy moon day, everyone. 58 years ago today, we landed on the moon. Yes, and this was my grandma's birthday as well, the 24th. So that's kind of cool. Wild is going to sneak me marshmallows if I live underneath the stairs at Brian's place. Okay, that works. I'm definitely good. Oh, and Brian is really good to his stair gremlins. They only get the best all beef hot dogs with mustard and relish. That's awesome. Oh, I'm in. Federales is saying, Brian, I got a better chance of hooking up with Digger. I'm in Canada. Well, see, yeah, you do have the right side of the border going for you. So there's that. Yingy Yangy cat got a swallow out of the mud puddle. Oh, nice. Boy, she was mad when we washed the mud off. Wow, swallows are fast too. Oh, and Brian's saying, yes, but I have a passport. So there's that too. Problem is, I'm not available. So all of you guys can just, not waste the money on the trip. You know how it is. Just save your money. Take a girl out in your own town, you know? Missed the moon landing for my birthday by 1 day. Damn it, says AP. Right. Oh, well, what can you do? My grandma was 3 sheets to the wind, apparently. It having been her birthday. Just like when I was born 50 years later on the 21st, she was also 3 shits to the wind. No, 3 sheets to the wind. She was drinking with the girls. Oh, and for those who were talking about it earlier, Johnny is back in chat and he has just made his ramen. So there you go, guys. He did make his ramen. Success. 1978, we were the first to put on spacecraft on Mars. Today, go Freedom Fractions. Yes, well, that's a whole nother tinfoil series. The moon landing. That's something my buddy and I, Mighty meets on Rumble exclusively. Mighty and I on Wednesdays, we've been covering Bill Cooper and his Mystery Babylon series. Turns out we thought we were down to 1 episode. Turns out there's another 20 episodes. There was a part 2 that I had no idea existed. And thanks to Third World Assassin, he is the guy to go to for all questions about Bill Cooper. I went to ask him about something else related to Bill Cooper, and he mentioned that, yeah, there was a whole second half to Mystery Babylon. So we got a ways to go before that's done. I think we're going to take a break anyways after this last episode, and we're going to go and do Bill Cooper, his thoughts on Alex Jones, because apparently Alex Jones is doing a his own documentary on Bill Cooper, and I'm sure not everything. I think it would be fair, let's just put it this way, if Alex Jones gets to do a documentary about Bill Cooper from his perspective, I think it only fair that Mighty and I go through all of Bill Cooper's stuff so that we can show the world what Bill Cooper thought of Alex Jones. It's only fair, right? The man is dead. So the least we can do is go through all of his stuff and put it together and show everyone in one nice cohesive, series what he thought of Alex Jones. Just saying. They disagree on who was the first one to call out 9/11. They both called out 9/11, and the guy who was blamed for 9/11, they called it out in advance of it happening. They both did. There is disagreement as to who did it first. We've got both Alex Jones, his calling out of 9/11, and Bill Cooper's calling out of 9/11. So we'll play them both for you. Original copies, and you guys can decide for yourselves. Spoiler alert, there are dates on them, and Bill Cooper did call it out first by a couple of months, something like that. So anyways, I'll work toward my anime harem some other time. There you go, Brian. There you go. See, always look on the bright side of life. He's being told that you can't just enter Canada willy-nilly. You can't come in with a criminal record. And he's going, oh, darn. Well, it's all right. I'll look on the brighter side of life and get an anime harem some other time. So there you go. And Wild saying, Digger getting thirsted on by men who have wives, right? Take it seriously. I know exactly, right? I will allow I will allow myself to believe it for momentarily, makes me feel better. But I know it's all ribbon. And yes, AP, happy early birthday. AP's birthday is tomorrow. So yeah, don't forget to wish him a happy birthday tomorrow when we see him. Brian saying hi to Johnny. Wild's got the pugs dancing, and they are dancing cute. Although they're the glowy eyes. The glowy eyes always bother me a little bit. Brian loves raw men, right? Like, oh shit, now I'm blanking. Dahmer, just like Dahmer. Brian, totally not getting the jokes, because I'm more of an udon kind of guy. Hello, Memento Mori. How you doing? Good to see you. Mr. Q saying we are also the first country to build a spacecraft to leave the solar system. So yeah, USA US is better than CA. Hey man, we built the Canadarm. We built that Canadarm, and we're so proud of it. We still have it on our money to the day. We still advertise it in commercials about how great Canada is. We still discuss the Canadarm. It doesn't matter that since the ISS is being made obsolete, that means that the Canadarm will also be obsolete. That doesn't matter. We were there. We did our part. We helped you, fake space. Come on. Pope Elmo saying Bill Cooper talking about Alex Jones, right? He's had more than a few words to say about Alex Jones during his time with his series Hour of the Time on radio and whatnot. Oh, ooh, yeah, I got him. Yeah, he had opinions about Alex Jones, and the man being dead cannot speak for himself. So we will use his recordings and let him speak that way. Because yeah, I don't expect very much truth to be. I expect the Alex Jones documentary about Bill Cooper to be the same as all of Alex Jones's other stuff. Just enough truth to make it plausible. But the bulk of it is fictional. Absolutely fictional, in my opinion. Everyone's saying hi to Johnny. Johnny saying hi back. And yeah, Bill Cooper talking about Alex Jones. I'm going to have fun with it. At the very least, I'm going to have fun with it. Bill Cooper did not think much of Alex Jones, so it'll be fun. Bill Cooper did not brook fools wisely, and he did not hold back. When he thought you were wrong, he made sure you understood that he thought you were wrong and why he thought you were wrong. But yeah, so other than married men across the world making passes at lowly old me and Hulk Hogan and Ozzy dying, anything else you guys want to chat about? I mean, Mr. Q, you want to talk about the moon landing. How many of y'all think that the moon landing happened? Like, one in the chat if you think you guys actually landed on the moon and Armstrong actually stepped foot on the moon, was the first man. One in the chat if you believe that. 2 in the chat if you believe that it was all made by Hollywood and oh shoot, that director whose name I cannot remember offhand. Or Brian says 3. I'm not sure what 3 is, but 3 works too. I would like to believe that it happened. My only reason for thinking that it was faked is because they were able to traverse the Van Allen belt in technology, spacecraft, spacesuits from the 1970s. And then NASA, somewhere along the way, just lost the knowledge of how to transverse the Van Allen belt with, like, the most not ancient, but like some of the older tech, the oldest tech we had. Wild is saying the moon landing was real. I saw it live on TV. They wouldn't put it on TV if it wasn't real. Right? There you go. There you go. And here's a cat. Okay. Yeah, no, but you're not allowed to do that. You got to stay off the table, Maple. Yeah. There you go. Thank you. No, you're not going to go back now. No. So, and hello, Peggy. How you doing? There we go. If you try and do it again, I'm going to be upset. So we've got some 2s. We've got a 1. Mr. Q says, I have a wonderful girl that has 4 kids, and I have 2 of my own kids with 2 different people. So no more for me. Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm looking forward to meeting you and the lady. Yeah, you and the wifey you and the woman. There we go. When I do make it out there, I think that'll be a lot of fun. Buzz Lighthearted never landed on the moon. Getting through the belt in high tech is harder than getting through the belt in low tech of the time. Thank you. I was having trouble. That's what I was trying to spit out. Thank you, Brian. There was not a lot to get fried, right? And yeah, how do you just lose tech like that? How do you just lose that knowledge? I mean, I would I just find it very hard to believe that they would just somehow forget or lose that technology, and now they can't replicate it. Especially with today's technology, 2025. So that's why I tend to be a number 2. I tend to believe that they faked it all. In my opinion, kitties are fun, especially when they're trying to tell me that it's an hour away from food time. So now's the time when they start bugging me. About an hour before each meal, they start bugging me. And I'm trying really hard to keep them off the table. But it's so hard. It's so very hard to stop them because they're quick, But one of these days I'm going to be like eating a hot bowl of soup or something, and one of them's going to come flying through and spill it everywhere, and neither of us are going to be very happy. But the only way to keep the cats off this table is to build actual barriers. And I don't want to feel like I'm sitting in a cubicle when I'm doing these things. Oh, Memento Mori is saying radiation is cumulative. You can be in it for a while. Yes, but why were they able to do it then, but they can't do it now? That's my thing. Like, you don't just lose tech. Like, oops, I forgot how we did this wonderful and amazing thing. Johnny is saying the Van Allen belt, in fact, made many issues with primitive space travel. Made many issues? Caused many issues? Tech evolved a greater weakness to radiation. There you go. Yep. It's just that the better tech got, the worse it was at withstanding radiation. Could be. Brian is saying it's not really a loss of knowledge. It's just that the tactic of the time doesn't work with our new tech. Too much to break or wipe with radiation. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Still, but it was a loss of information. They actually claim it's a loss of information. Otherwise, they would have done it multiple times. Today I should have just woken up and put this on and left it on all day. You got to remember, I love conspiracy theories, and I would much rather believe the ridiculous story than, or rather, I would much rather push the ridiculous story than the one that makes more sense and is believable. Like I much prefer the wild and wacky and insane theories to the truth. A lot of times. It is what it is. I get a kick out of just how insane people can get with their different theories on things. But that does make sense. The newer tech can't get through the radiation the same way. It does make sense. I hear what you guys are saying. I hear what you're saying. A lot of the old tech is analog, newer stuff is digital. I hear it. And even if they did land on the moon, it wasn't the Americans, it was the Germans. Haha. Yes, it was. There was there was an interesting influx of Germans into all the highest positions after that war. And couldn't have done it without them. Dude, where's my lunar lander? That was a fun, stupid movie. Like ridiculously stupid movie, but it was fun. Dude, where's my car? Mr. Q saying, I believe that it was the Van Allen radiation belt or something close to it that turned us from primitive monkeys into human beings if you're not a Christian. Okay. Interesting. That's an interesting theory. Or that was God's Big Bang, if you are a Christian. Fair enough. That's an interesting theory. We should staple that hat to your head, Digger. Right? Right? And I mean, honestly, with the amount of times I pull it out and throw it on in the middle of a stream, I should really break down and make a new one that fits over these headphones. Because it fits, but it sits really high. Like this one actually sits behind my ears when I'm not wearing these headphones. Oh, stay. There we go. Do people really believe that they started out as an amoeba and grew into a human being, even with all the evolutionary stuff? Like you survived to make it through? Well, see, and that's one of the things for me. One of many things which points to a creator as opposed to like the Big Bang Theory. There are beetles. I can never remember the name of them. I'm sure someone will know them. They actually carry two substances within separated pouches in their body. And when they're attacked, they spray those two substances out of their ass end. And the two substances, as soon as they mix, as they're sprayed out, become one of the most vile acids, just burns and melts through everything. There's no way an animal, an insect like that could exist if evolution was a thing, in my opinion, because it wouldn't have survived evolving to the point where it had two separate pouches that only mixed them as they left the body, right? It wouldn't have been able to evolve past having the two ingredients in them, right? And there are so many reasons why it points towards a creator as opposed to a Big Bang. But, to each their own. Wild is saying aliens have under the ocean spaces waiting for the day they all rise up and destroy all the cannibal cruise ships. Right? Right? And Bill Cooper, since we were talking about him a little bit ago anyways, Bill Cooper, when he was in the Navy and reporting for the higher ups, he was actually on a boat and he saw spherical vehicles coming into and out of the ocean. Water would split and they'd just break through the water and disappear. And then he saw them coming back and going. And he said he saw a few of them throughout that time. He was also he made sure later on to make clear that he doesn't necessarily think that those were actual aliens. He thinks that could just as likely and more likely, I think he said, was that they were tech that the government had that they weren't showing off yet, that they weren't sharing with the public. Because, you know, as we all know, any tech that we're getting that's brand spanking new, the government's had for quite a while already. AP is saying the tech and knowledge is not lost. The US has been to the moon 6 times. You can literally shoot a laser beam at specific points at mirrors and get a return signal. Well, I'm not saying the moon doesn't exist. Outer space exists and everything. I will stick with the man for bad science and the Lord for the unexplainable. You'll stick with man for bad science. There you go. Peggy saying my hat looks like a silver bell candy. I know. Well, Legal Vices, Jeff made one with the thing sticking out like that, and I thought that's hilarious. So I made one with just the one top antenna. Who believes in spirits? I believe that spirits exist. I don't think that they are good necessarily, but that's from my perspective as someone who believes in God. I think, in my opinion, do your own research. I think that the Earth is kind of on a shoot. What were the lockdowns? Quarantine. I think the Earth has been on quarantine for quite a while. And so the only spirits that we would see on Earth would have to be the evil ones that work with the devil, in my opinion. Do your own research. Figure it out for yourself. I've read the Bible a bunch of times. Well, not a bunch of times. A couple of times now. And I'm learning every time I read it. So, yeah, do your own research. AP is saying new tech is very susceptible to radiation and rocket G-force. Johnny's saying most people don't know this, but the Van Allen belt is what used to keep the pants up so you don't moon people and show Uranus. But ching. Thank you. Thank you for that, Johnny. I appreciate it. Between wild joke earlier today, seeing the early bird catching the worm, but having to use onion oven mitts. That was really good, but I do believe this Allen belt joke is also very, very good. You guys are tied for dad joke of the day. Thank you, AP. Yeah, the bombardier beetle. Thank you. Carnival cruises are dangerous enough already, right? That's what I heard. My mom and stepdad love cruises. They really enjoy cruises. I don't know if they do Carnival or not. But yeah, I'm interested to see if they have any stories now that all this is coming out. Mr. Q saying, no, I actually do believe in evolution to a certain extent. I just don't believe that we were lucky enough to hit the genetic lottery a million times in a row to get to being a human. Gotcha. I do believe in evolution as well. But I don't believe that we all started at a Big Bang and amoeba and all of that. We can see that evolution does happen over time. We've seen creatures evolve. We've seen, ourselves, our intelligence, our technology evolve. There is evolution. I just don't think that the whole human race started from a bang and an amoeba that decided to somehow form into humans. Yeah. Brian is saying stick with him for sexy science. That is true. He is the man for sexy science. Sexy, sexy, sexy. Mr. Q is saying, like in the Bible, God created man. Yeah. Thank you. See, and you still managed to hit the button on the mouse. Damn it. Memento Mori says, I gave up spirits 20 years ago. Sobriety is awesome. Right? I didn't give up alcohol, obviously. But I gave up hard drugs in 2012. And it was one of the most difficult things I ever did. But I did it, and I am so glad I did. Sobriety really is a good thing. And I guess people will say, well, you smoke pot and you drink. So I'm not completely sober. Well, fair enough. Pot I use medicinally. And the drinking I drink very rarely. So I've never really considered myself to have much of a problem with drinking the occasional drink. For me, it was the hard drugs. The things that made me able to function in normal society, those are the things I used and abused. The F-22 was designed in the 60s, bar none the most advanced warplane in existence. The 5th-gen fighters of the enemies are a joke compared to it. Okay. Mr. Q says, I think God created aliens, or there are the demons and fallen angels from the stars. Think about it. Well, that's what I'm saying. I think any spirits, that sort of thing, would be demons and fallen angels. That's my opinion. I think what people like to think of as aliens, I think they do exist, but I think they exist in the 24 elders. And I think, like I said, they and those peoples have not come to Earth because we've been under quarantine since the whole sin thing. That's my theory. That's my understanding. Do your own research. Peggy is saying Book of Enoch, fallen angels pass their knowledge onto humans. Okay. See, and that's, the Book of Enoch. That's one of those books that I would really like to get my hands on and give a good reading to. I'm interested. AP says Carnival has too many kids. Well, they've got too many of other people too, apparently. So too many people of a certain type. Too many that they're calling themselves out about it. So there you go. And Mr. Q is agreeing with AP. Every man, woman, and child in America has paid over $200 in taxes just to build a fighter jet. Well, and didn't it break down to every man, woman, and child in America owes $3,000 to pay off the debt? So at birth, you're already in the hole for $3,000 as your portion of the American debt. Pretty scary. Still haven't found a link between man and ape, right? And AP is saying, yes, but Mr. Q, that's one plane I'm okay paying the taxes for. Well, fair enough. Not including the illegals. Yes. Well, yeah. Do the illegals even get assigned their portion of the American debt? Because they're illegal. So does that count? Or do they just get to come in and reap the benefits, but not owe their portion? Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to call it. It's a minute and 40 or an hour and 40 minutes into it. I think we've pretty much talked through the topics. So yeah, I think I'm going to call it there. I'm going to finish this beer. I'm going to take the other cold one and I'm going to go sit out in the lovely hot sun. And next time you see me, hopefully I'll have more of a tan. So, AP saying, no, the illegals, they don't count. They don't get their portion of the debt, but they do get counted when it comes to the census and the handouts. There you go. There you go. So on that note, you guys have a wonderful rest of your afternoon, evenings. And seeing as it's Thursday, I will not see you again until Monday morning with Johnny on Just Kidding LLC. So until then, be well, enjoy, and I will talk to you later. Bye.
Topics change from day to day. Science, art, or history's play. No path to twist, no drill to thin. She dives right in where to begin. obscure. She'll dig and dig a spirit so pure. From ancient lore to future dreams, every question finds its gleam. Wherever she goes, answers will follow. Into the depths or up high in the hollow. Curiosity calls, she's ready to find solutions to everything on her mind.